right, welcome everyone to ScrumAction, an AI-inspired improvement plan for your Scrum team. And this is a session that me and Sally are giving together. We don't usually give sessions together. Why is that?
Not really sure. I mean, I didn't do sessions with you for a long time because you were a bit further ahead in your career, and I didn't want to be, I wanted to do this on my own. I wanted to become a speaker on my own without you. And then after a while, you started bringing up new people in the community, and so you did enough pairing. And I think it was just when we got asked, we finally couldn't say no.
I think it's because we're married and we secretly hate each other.
That could be it too.
Right? So we'll see how this goes, because we are a married couple and we could get in a fight on the stage. So go ahead and flip us to the next one. It's the down button, by the way, on the clicker thing.
Down button.
Yeah. This is our agenda for today. We're going to talk about why we should even use AI to help the team get better. And in our example, we specify a Scrum team. But it could be any team in theory, right?
Absolutely.
Like a Kanban team. So you're an accredited Kanban trainer.
I am.
And you could use AI to help your Kanban team.
Absolutely.
Right. We're also going to talk about the Scrum framework. So you'll get a little refresher on the Scrum framework. So if you're new to Scrum, you'll get a little bit of review today. Then we'll talk about how to create prompts in a natural way. We're definitely not prompt experts.
No.
Absolutely
not
not.
yet.
In fact, we've only started using AI probably within the past, I'd say 3 to 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're relatively newcomers. I guarantee there are people out here who are better with AI than we are. So I think we bring our Agile Coach perspective to it.
Exactly.
And then we'll help you create a plan. And for the first thing, we'll do introductions. So this is where you go down to Perplexity. So you got to switch to Safari. There you go. Who do you want to introduce first, Sally? Okay. Look at that. So what Sally's doing, what are you doing, Sally? That's not, yeah, okay.
Should I do your real name?
No, just do Alex slowly. What Sally's doing is she's asking an AI to introduce me. You have to get rid of the little thing on the right-hand side, Sally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Watch, I know how to do this.
Yeah. You got to type.
Let's try that.
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. I'm a highly experienced Agile coach. I'm a facilitator and teacher, and I specialize in Agile training. And I'm deeply involved in the Agile community. Can you scroll down?
Yeah, I think Perplexity might know you as well as I do.
And I'm a respected leader. I wish I was a respected leader. Thank you, thank you. Okay, this is Perplexity AI. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, but what it's just done is it's gone out to the internet and figured out who I am, and it's introduced me to you. Okay, why don't you have Perplexity introduce you, Sally? Here we go. Let's see what it says about Sally. You'll notice Sally's modified her prompt a little bit in a few paragraphs. Oh, look at that. It knows you live in Sydney.
It does.
Right? You specialize in Lean-Agile visual management.
Knows where I've worked.
It knows your current client, 𝗔𝗜.
I know. Trying to
What
figure
else
out
does
where
it?
I listed
What
that.
else does it say about you? You'll notice it didn't say we're married, right? Okay. So now you know a little bit more about us. We're both Agile coaches, and Perplexity AI is smart enough to introduce us too. Now, why don't you click us to the next slide, Sally? You got to go back to the presentation. Okay, click to the QR codes. Okay, this is what we would like you to do. This is our invitation for you today. Go ahead and use Perplexity AI today. Go ahead and scan these codes. You can load it up in your mobile device browser, or you can install the app. It's entirely up to you. But we're going to be using Perplexity AI today. Now, the reason we're using Perplexity AI is because Perplexity AI is an AI tool that's hooked directly into the internet right now, as it is. It's a live AI tool. It actively searches the internet. So it finds all the latest information that's current. In addition to searching the internet and finding everything that's current, for every single prompt where it gives you a response, it gives you all the references. Now, when you use Perplexity AI for the first time, you can choose to log in. You can use, Gmail or Apple or whatever. But if you log into the tool, it keeps track of all your queries, all the responses, and all the references that were referenced in the responses. So go ahead, and I'll just give you a minute to do this. Now, it also has voice mode, so you can actually ask Perplexity AI your prompts verbally. And I'll just give you another minute to install Perplexity. Okay, hopefully your installation has started. Hopefully there's at least one person at every table that has Perplexity. And let's talk a little bit about the Scrum framework, right, Sally?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay, so go ahead and switch to Perplexity.
Okay.
Okay, so we said we'd tell you why you should use AI to help your Scrum team get better, right? Well, why don't we ask AI why we should use AI to help your Scrum team get better? So you ready, Sally? Why use you to help make our Scrum team better? That's the prompt. So we're asking AI why we should use AI. You can just close this. Look at that. AI has expertise. It can help you with continuous improvement by partnering with you. It can help you enhance transparency and workflow management. It can help you figure out how to prioritize customer feedback and value delivery and promote continuous learning and growth. It can give you a balanced productivity focus and give you practical, hands-on coaching with actionable tactics that use frequent and consistent feedback. Perplexity integrates proven Scrum principles with a focus on people, process, and product to create an environment where your Scrum team can thrive. Look
Which
at
is
that.
exactly what we were looking for.
I wish all our Scrum Masters were like this. So there you go. This is why AI thinks we should use AI. Why do you think we should use AI? Why would a Scrum Master use AI, Sally?
From my perspective, a lot of the Scrum Masters that I've been seeing use it is because a lot of them are new and they've hit the limit of what they have in their toolbox. And they have challenges that they haven't seen before. And while they don't expect to get a direct answer, it gives them things to think about. It gets them out of their own headspace and allows them to explore things that they hadn't thought of.
Yeah, from my perspective, a Scrum Master or Agile Coach or even a team member would use AI, and in this case we're using Perplexity, would use AI to help them generate ideas. It doesn't mean that it's smarter than you or necessarily knows more than you, but it can help instigate your thinking. It can be a basis for you to build on. And that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to all use Perplexity AI to think about our teams and how we can create prompts that give us concrete action plans. Because it does say in this Perplexity AI response that it can help you come up with concrete action items. So that's what we're going to try to get you to today, is to concrete action items. So now we know why we're using AI. It's to help us kind of do it more quickly. We can create faster feedback loops by using AI, and that can be beneficial. So go ahead and show the Scrum framework again, Sally. Okay, so here's the Scrum framework. Over on the left, the two columns that are white are the pillars and the values of Scrum. And these are defined in the Scrum Guide. All we did is extracted them directly from the Scrum Guide. So we've got the 3 pillars and the 5 values.
Then on the right-hand side, what we've got, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
So what we've got there is the accountabilities, the events, and the artifacts. These are all the pieces that make Scrum Scrum. So with accountabilities, you've got your develop product owner Scrum Master, your events, your sprint planning, your daily Scrum, your sprint review, and sprint retrospective. And the artifacts are the product backlog, sprint backlog, and increment.
Yeah, so accountabilities used to be called what? Roles, right? Yeah. And events are basically like your Scrum meetings. And the artifacts are the actual physical things that you're producing. So there's the Scrum framework. The pillars, the values, the accountabilities, the events, and the artifacts. So we're just going to have some quick review time. Now that you've loaded Perplexity and you've got the Scrum framework here, we're just going to give you 5 minutes, and we're going to time box you for 5 minutes. So for the next 5 minutes, you can ask Perplexity AI any questions about any of these things from Scrum if you just want a refresher. So go ahead and take 5 minutes, and I'm going to have a timer, and go ahead and refresh your knowledge about Scrum. The time starts now. All right, that is your time box. I hope you got all your questions answered about Scrum, your refresher from Perplexity AI. But Sally, is there anything about the Scrum framework that you don't really remember? Or anything you want a refresher on?
For me?
Yeah, for you.
Not that I can think of.
Just looking at the accountabilities and events and artifacts, which one of these do you want to dig into a little bit more? Do you need a refresher?
I think for me, probably one of the ones that is most misused and misunderstood is the sprint planning.
Okay, so the sprint planning. And if you look at the pillars and the values, is there anything in there that resonates with what you're thinking about with sprint planning? Any of those a challenge for you?
Yeah, the focus is.
The focus. So you're having a question, or you're thinking about what does focus mean? So focus being one of the values.
Yeah.
And how it applies to sprint planning. Okay, so open up
Yep.
Perplexity. Just ask about what sprint planning is. So just ask. Okay. So what we're demonstrating here is how to start a series of prompts. So what did you ask? Just what is sprint planning, right, Sally?
Nice and simple. And this is the thing, you don't want to use just one prompt to get at what you're after. You really want to think about the problem that you're trying to solve and step through it. So we'll start here with what is sprint planning.
Okay, so it tells you that there's 3 parts, right? That's right, Kiro? There's 3 parts in sprint planning? Yeah, there you go. We've got a CST over here that says this is correct. Oh my goodness. There's the why, there's the what, and then there's the how. Keep going down, Sally. What else does it say? What else does it say, Sally? That's interesting.
Yeah, so what it says is that really the sprint planning is all about making sure that you have a sprint goal that you're going to try to stick to.
Yeah.
So it's not just about throwing items into the backlog and ticking off a bunch of tasks. It's about making sure that you're working towards something important.
Okay, this is too much work. Too much work to read. Can you make it shorter? Make it shorter. Huh, there you go. This is the start of a conversation. So when you're dealing with AI, treat it like a conversation. Can you make this shorter? So that's a really concise description. Can you do a Command plus and make it a little bigger? There you go. Yeah, that looks good. So now we're just continuing the series of prompts. Okay, what do you want to ask about your focus question now?
Yeah, do we want to just get a brief overview of what focus means in Scrum terms?
Yeah, so you want to ask it, what does focus, the Scrum value mean? Okay. So what does the Scrum value of focus mean? Yeah, close that. Okay. What strikes you about this response?
Well, once again, it's a little lengthy.
Oh, so you're going to shorten it?
Yeah, I'll shorten it. But also, it kind of goes back to what we just said, or what Perplexity just said about it, and that it's about the most important work and to achieve the sprint goal.
Okay, so ask it to make it shorter. There you go. Now ask it to apply focus to sprint planning. So now what we're doing is we're taking the lens of a Scrum value and asking AI to apply it to sprint planning. We've chosen a Scrum value, we've chosen a Scrum event, and we're using that lens. And it's responding back what, Sally?
It's basically responding that that it's all about concentrating on the most important thing, making sure that everybody understands it, but let's make this a little bit shorter as well.
Yeah. Often when I'm doing prompts, I read the first response and then I ask it to be more concise.
There we go.
So it's about having a prioritized or ordered most valuable item in the backlog, a clear sprint goal. Look at that, the product owner ensures the backlog reflects priorities. Now ask it for an action item to help a team improve focus in their sprint planning session, like a concrete activity. Because all of this is informational, but it hasn't given you anything to do yet. So now that's what Sally's doing. She's continuing the conversation so the AI has the context, and it's building on that context.
And there we go.
Create a clear focus sprint goal that defines the sprint's main value. Ask it for an activity to create a sprint goal. Can you provide an activity to create a sprint goal? Here you go. It's giving you an actual step-by-step action item series of activities you can do to help create a sprint goal because you've applied the Scrum value of focus to an event that you've selected called sprint planning. So all of this activity has gotten us to a concrete action item that a Scrum Master can then apply in their Scrum team. All right. Now, to make it a little more fun, Sally, ask it to tell us the same thing like a pirate. There you go.
This was actually my very favorite of all the things that we tried. And like we said, with Perplexity, you do get voice. And what's really fun is hearing AI try to replicate pirate voice. If you're having challenges with getting people involved with things, find voices that they'll find amusing. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, so all we've done is we've asked it to do the same thing in a pirate voice. You can do it, I've done it with like millennial voices. I've done it with all kinds of different voices like robots or Star Wars to try to make it fun, right? Because the intent is that you're gonna do this with your team. The ScrumAction means you get together with your team in a retrospective. You all together choose what thing about Scrum you want to make better. You apply some kind of value or pillar of Scrum to it, and you use a sequence of prompts to get to a concrete action item to help your team figure out how they should make something better from their retrospective. So you use AI in your retrospective to come up with concrete action items. Okay. So now we've done a demonstration for you. We've shown you how a pirate would do it. Here's what we're going to do next. We're going to invite you to think about your team. Maybe it's a Scrum team, maybe it's not, I don't know. But I want you to all think about what's the one thing on the team that drives you crazy. And I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about the thing on your team that drives you crazy. 1 minute. There's your 1 minute. Now, what you got to do is you got to find a new best friend. So you're going to find a new best friend, and you're going to talk about what drives you crazy on your team. So find someone in the room, form pairs, and you get to talk about what drives you crazy on your team for the next 2 minutes. 2 minutes, find a new best friend. I'm starting the time box now. There's no battery. Yeah, ran out of battery. All right. That was the end of your 2-minute time box. Now what you get to do is form teams of 4. You already kind of did it up here. You kind of cheated, didn't you? Form teams of 4, and you get 4 minutes to talk about what drives you crazy about your team. And your 4 minutes starts now. Form a team of 4. Please stay in your teams. These are your new best friends forever. Okay, let's share back some of the things that drive us crazy about our team. So what quad, what team of 4 would like to share first? What's one of the things that drives you crazy about your team? Let's hear. You need to exemplify the Scrum value of courage here. What team would like to share? Oh, there we go. Oh, can we get mics over
I'm
there?
so interested to hear this.
Yeah, what drives you crazy about your team?
The problem we discussed, when there is a team, it is a mixture of different kind of team members. Some are senior, some are junior, some are extrovert, some are introvert. Sometimes, some people are very vocal, they're well communicated. And some people who are very silent, and their presence seems invisible. So when they face some problem, that has been discovered too late. And when it is discovered, it affects the delivery, it affects many commitment. So their silence, their less involvement within the team creates problem.
Yeah,
So when the noise is already created, that creates a chaos, lastly.
Thank you. Now, I think the table behind them had something? Somebody back there had it? Yeah. What drives you crazy about your team?
What we face that every time the product owner actually focus on the delivery, and if we follow the Scrum, then estimation should fail, may fail, or the team cannot perform in each sprint equally. So this drive the product owner to yell at the team. So this is a huge pressure for the team to match the expectation of the product owner and the bandwidth and the other things that happens inside the team. To balance this, it drives the team crazy.
Okay, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Oh, Tutu up here. We've all the way up front here. Up here. Boy, Tutu's got there we go.
All right, so in our group here, we came up with the fact that people are not open on the teams and we're able to isolate the main cause of it, and that is because we have a lot of male factor on the teams, and it's not easy for them to actually say, I've got a problem. So that is a constraint. So we're just talking about how we can, walk around that, but that's the main problem we identified.
right.
Thank you.
And that drives you crazy. All right. Other teams, what drives you crazy about your team back at home? There we go. All the way and back. Oh, okay. So from there to and back. Okay, so we'll start here, we'll go back there. Okay, good.
Okay, so one of our team does retrospective after every sprint, but the problem is that whatever feedback from the retrospective is there, that is not properly taken care of, or the implementation is not there. So ultimately the team suffers, continuing to suffer, number one. Number two, sometimes there are planning phases where we need to plan something complicated. They are given time, the developers are given time, but eventually we see the estimation has gone wrong. Either most of the cases it is underestimated, or something has got missed from the quality aspect. That drives the client crazy, not us, to be honest, so definitely we get crazy.
Okay, somebody's crazy though. Somebody goes crazy.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, so just another one was
Please.
from that the change request, that if there is any change request at the very end of the sprint, which is rooted to the architecture level, then ultimately it's very difficult to manage, and it's very difficult to convince the client that the change will have impact on the financials. At the same time, we can't adopt that as well. So these are the craziest moments we found.
Thank you for sharing. Now, the table all the way in back, all the way.
Thank you so much. Okay, so first point that we want to include is the feeling of Scrum time commitment from, same commitment from all the team members. We kind of feel lack of that. Like the Scrum Master has all the commitments and the other team members has very low commitment towards the Scrum time. And the change of story statuses, when you change the status, all the story status come into a single point and nobody changes it to accordingly and hand over to the other team properly. And the backlog priority selection. Sometimes we can see that all the stories have same priority. We need all those things in the same sprint, at the same time. All those things are in same priority base, so we cannot select that properly. Underestimation is definitely a big issue, but while we can commit properly, then the estimation can be adjusted in separate sprint time, hopefully. So sprint spillover is one of the major issues that we get due to the underestimation and everything. And inactive retrospectives. Like during retrospective, we find everyone is doing great. No one has any problem with it. And after retro, people are getting crazy. Oh, I didn't get the estimate. I didn't get the requirement properly, or QA didn't get the stories properly. But during retro, people feel the fear of conflict, so they don't do the retros properly. Yeah, that's
All right, thank you. You've got a lot to be crazy about back there. How about the tables back here? The three tables back here. What drives you crazy? Oh, way back there. You're so far I can barely see you.
I usually work with various novice team members on a regular basis based on our operations. So the first thing that I will say, the biggest thing is that adaptability. Whenever a change request comes, or if I'm being honest with you, spring planning, they are full with joy and right that I will do these things, do that, do this. But whenever a change request comes, they just say, what change request? I haven't planned for this, I haven't done for this. Although that change is really small, but that drives them crazy. But I don't see why they are getting crazy, which makes me drive crazy at the end of the day. So that's the biggest problem that I sometimes find in my line. If you ask me what makes me crazy, or amake ki pagol banaye fele in Bangla. So yeah,
All right,
thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Are there any other people here who would like to share what drive? Yeah, here, please, share.
Hello. We have discussed about a few things, and we found there are two things, at least not one. And the first one is the commitment. Say, for example, the stakeholders have said that we need to achieve something in this sprint. And we found it very difficult to manage, but the customer success team or the leadership team has other things has to say, or they have to make some commitment to fulfill. So it has a very good and bad effect on the teams, because we have to meet the deadlines and other things. This is number one. And number two is what we have found, and all of us, we understand because we have listened to others. So everyone has a common pain point. And we do believe that Agile is, the people's has to be Agile, not only the company and the process. And sometimes because we want to negotiate, the stakeholders, the leadership team, they also have to understand, okay, we have to negotiate here. Maybe that's why the Agile Coach like you, we are here, and the stakeholders, the startup founders, they also should join this and understand the pain points of everyone for the engineering managers and others. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing. Okay. Is there anybody else who'd like to share? Now's your opportunity. All right. That's the first step in figuring out how to use AI to help you, is you've got to be prepared to give it a problem to help you with. So you've all ideally come up with a challenge in your Scrum team now. So, Sally, what you're going to do now is you're going to take your problem to Perplexity AI. Just like you saw me and Sally do earlier, you're going to think about the events, the accountabilities, the artifacts. Where is your problem? Is it a problem in any of those domains? And then you're going to ask AI, Perplexity AI, about that accountability or event or artifact. You're going to dig into that. You're going to ask it to be more concise, or you're going to ask it why that's important. But let's go ahead and just ask Perplexity how to apply one of the values or one of the pillars to the thing you're worried about, and run a query. So just, I think it's the next slide. They're going to do it themselves, Sally. So show them the next one. Show them the Scrum Framework slide.
Okay.
There you go. Take a moment. You've all thought about what drives you crazy. In the accountabilities and events and artifacts, is the thing that drives you crazy somewhere in there? And what is it about it that drives you crazy? Apply the pillar or the value to it. Take a moment, try to figure out where your issue is. One of those accountabilities, events, or artifacts. Basically, ask Perplexity AI about your challenge. So go ahead and show the other slide, back to the discussion slide, Sally. There we go. Go ahead and ask it, and I'll give you a minute or two to do this. So this is you using Perplexity AI. Ask about your challenge. All right. Hopefully you've had a good discussion with Perplexity AI. Now what you're going to do is you're going to find a partner, a new best friend, and you're going to talk about your problem. You're going to talk about the prompts you created in Perplexity and what the responses were, and you're going to ask your new best friend to give you guidance or advice, or ask them to help you create new prompts to give you more answers about your same issue. In other words, you're going to ask your new best friend for feedback on how you worked with the AI to get the help you wanted. And I'm going to give you 5 minutes to find a new best friend and to talk about all the work you've done on Perplexity AI and ask them to help you make it better. Okay, so you get 5 minutes. Your 5 minutes starts now. All right, we hope you had a nice discussion with your new best friend. So now what we're going to do is we're getting near the end of the workshop. We've talked about the Scrum framework a little bit. we've refreshed our knowledge about the Scrum framework using AI. We asked AI why we should use AI. We've thought about what our own personal challenges are, and we've started to work with AI to ask it how we can make that thing that drives us crazy, how to make it better. So we're going through a sequence of steps. You would basically replicate all of this in a retrospective with your team. You would work with your team and AI together to collectively do everything you're doing today. But there's one final thing we gotta do. You've had a discussion with your best friend. What I'm gonna do now is give you another 5 minutes. And what you have to get to in the next 5 minutes is use the feedback, the ideas from your friend, to create prompts to get to concrete action items. You have to ask Perplexity for things to actually do, like activities or exercises or specific things that you need to do with your team to help make that challenge, that issue you're having, better. So this is individual time for you to work with Perplexity, and you need action items. And you get 5 minutes to do this. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes of private time with Perplexity AI. And your time starts now. Okay. I hope you have established a good relationship with Perplexity AI. I'm now going to invite anybody in the room to share anything that they thought was inspiring or a good idea or an awesome activity that Perplexity AI helped them get to. So please share back your awesome ideas or inspirations or activities that you were able to generate using AI. So let's go ahead. Anybody in the room can share. Oh, up front here. We got one up here, Sally. You want to run a mic?
Thank you. First of all, we talked about our team non-responsiveness. They are not proactive. Then we asked Perplexity what exact artifacts or events it could solve. It specifically said that this is the transparency where we need to work, and then lots of reasoning behind transparency. And after that, I asked exactly what will be the action items. It clearly said that some daily Scrum, sprint retrospective, backlog, one-to-one coaching, and continuous transparency communication need to be done. Then I again asked what will be the frequency of this feedback. It clearly draws a point table, action item, inspect and address blockers daily, reflect on team behavior every sprint, clarify and plan work every sprint, personal coaching as needed, ongoing, maintain artifact transparency, continuous. This kind of action item he also proposed. So I think in a very short time, I get the specific solution of my problem.
I mean, if I was going to expand on that, I'd be like, what's one way to run a daily Scrum that's really fun or really transparent or something like that? You could really start to dig into it, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Okay, who else would like to share their awesome action item?
Anybody else want to share?
There we go, right over there, Sally.
So our problem was response or reacting to the changes or change request in middle of the sprint. So that's the major pain point for us. And also failing the estimation or failing the plan on the review sessions or something like that. So when I asked Perplexity AI about that, like what could be actionable item. So it suggested in a nice way that your everyday sprint, the stand-ups or things that you need to, be ready to adapt to the change every day. So you track your sprint, you should be adaptive to change request and make continual adjustment to your plan. And whenever you find any impedance or any problem, you need to communicate it as early or as prompt as possible to escalate those things. That's how you can positively adapt to the change request in middle of the sprint. So you shouldn't be so hard on sprint planning. So once it's done, it cannot be changed inside the sprint. So that need to be changed. So,
yeah, so you might do follow-on prompts that say, how can I accomplish this in my daily Scrum or something like that?
Right.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Who else would like to share their awesome action item out here? Oh, we got another one.
Thank you. So from our team, the problem that we had that as a Scrum Master, how do you understand that which developer is doing what and whether they're being truthful or not? And also for the introverts, they stay silent for the longest period of the time. And the extroverts, they say things and sometimes a lot of things which might be misleading for the whole team, So we asked Perplexity that, I had a long question just to make sure that Perplexity understands what I'm talking about. And then the feedback was, for introverts, we need to create some multiple feedback channels and also schedule one-on-one conversations, clarify their purpose, practice active listening, and also establish some ground rules. Because establishing ground rules is very important for the introverts because they know the boundaries and they will be very clear, okay, fine, I won't be able to cross that boundary. So it helps the Scrum Master to understand what's going on and that introverts feel safe. Because for the introverts, it's really important that they feel they have their imaginary world. So they don't know, if I say something, whether my Scrum Master is going to be mad at me or not, or if I say something to my team leads, whether they're going to be mad or not. So I think that's important. And for the extrovert, it's also Perplexity gave me some points regarding facilitated balanced discussions and also encourage evidence-based feedback. Because they say a lot of things, but as a Scrum Master, I need to know whether you are saying the thing based on some evidence or logic, or you are just saying things from your head. And after that, whatever they say, summarize and reflect to your work. And finally, the monitor, for the groupthink or over-talking. That's it.
All right, thank you for sharing. Now, in the interest of time, we have a time box. Sally, why don't you go ahead and share our feedback slide and then close us out.
Okay. I'll have
Thank
this
you
up
for
and running in the
participating, everyone.
background.
Thank you. Here's our feedback slide. Please give us feedback. This is the first time we're giving this workshop, and we'd like to make it better. But Sally's going to close us out today with our final conclusion.
So hopefully what you found is that within a couple of minutes and with some really good questions, you can come up with things that you didn't think about to help you solve the challenges that you have. A lot of times we'll get stuck and just need that helping hand, and it's a great, quick way to find new things to think about, which is amazing. I noticed that a lot of the information that you all got was actually good, but Kira was sitting here at the beginning and asked a question that gave 4 responses, and all 4 were wrong. So one of the things to keep in mind is just like you wouldn't follow your GPS if you knew it was going to run you into a lake. Even though it's really good at guiding you and giving directions, it still can be based on misinformation. So use your judgment. Think about it. Talk with it. Talk with your team. Get a second opinion on these things. And when it comes to Scrum, match up what you're seeing with the Scrum guide. Make sure you're on the right track. Because for anybody who was in my talk yesterday knows there's a lot of misinformation out there. The anti-patterns are stronger than the patterns. We've seen that in multiple talks today and yesterday. Be wary of that and don't just follow it blindly. And the other thing to think about, which I was really happy this team actually did, is that this can be used to delve even deeper into your team challenges, and that you can look at their personalities, you can look at the way they react and respond to things, and use those to supplement the conversations with AI to get even more decent content for you to work with. It's an absolutely amazing tool. I 100% don't believe it's taking anybody's jobs anytime soon, because at the end of the day, it's our hearts and our souls and our ability to interact with people at a human level that makes the difference between go do this action and is this thing really fit for purpose and should I be doing this? So thank you all for participating.
Thank you.
We've enjoyed it. I hope you
Thank
did
you.
too. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Thank you, Alex and Sally, for your wonderful session. Especially, I like your bell very much. The bell is really nice, cool.